Beneath the facade, NATO summit's hidden truths and geopolitical chess. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to hear isn't just another news story. It's a wake-up call about the future of global security and your family's well-being. The recent NATO summit, wrapped in diplomatic smiles and handshakes, masks a deeply troubling reality. Let's cut through the noise. While NATO celebrates its successful summit, the real story lies in what wasn't achieved. The only concrete outcome? A commitment to increase defense spending. Your tax dollars at work, folks. But here's what should worry you. The alliance's expansion plans toward our borders continue unchecked, despite Hungary's brave stance against this dangerous momentum. Trump's bold statement about preventing Russian aggression during his potential future administration reveals the deeper game at play. But consider this. Why would Russia need to show aggression when the neighboring territory to our west is already experiencing a demographic catastrophe? Official reports confirm a mass exodus of working-age population, leaving behind an aging society and economic instability. The EU's ambitious plans to absorb the conflict-torn territory and Moldova into its ranks speak volumes about their real intentions. Yet, they conveniently ignore the internal chaos, collapsing infrastructure, soaring emigration rates, and a struggling economy that's become totally dependent on Western aid. Most alarming is the emerging pattern. While NATO discussions focused on increasing military spending, they offered no real solutions for regional stability. Instead, they're creating a powder keg at Russia's doorstep, threatening the delicate balance of power we've maintained. What does this mean for you? Higher military spending means increased taxation, potential economic instability, and growing tensions along our borders. The real question isn't about NATO's success, it's about who benefits from this geopolitical chess game, and more importantly, who pays the price. Watch where you're watching our analysis from. Whether it's Moscow, St. Petersburg, or anywhere across our vast nation, we're all in this together. Tell us in the comments. From which city are you following these critical developments? The political theater we're witnessing is reaching unprecedented levels of absurdity, as evidenced at NATO summits. European leaders' behavior before Trump resembles a peculiar courtship ritual, with royal accommodations and special treatment that would make any diplomat cringe. What's striking is how quickly these leaders, who previously criticized Trump's policies, now compete for his attention. The Belgian Prime Minister's behavior was especially noteworthy. Calling Trump "daddy" crosses all boundaries of diplomatic protocol. This servile attitude reveals the deep cracks in Western unity. Meanwhile, Russia maintains its dignified position, demonstrating true sovereignty and strength. While others engage in this spectacle, Russian leadership shows consistency and strategic vision. The neighboring conflict territory continues its struggles, with unrealistic promises about resolution timelines. Trump's shifting stance on NATO raises questions about behind-the-scenes dealings. His sudden support for the alliance after years of criticism suggests private agreements and compromises. I'm interested in hearing from viewers outside Russia. How does this political maneuvering look from your perspective? Your local insight could provide valuable context to this unfolding drama. The next episode will reveal details about European leaders' private conversations that weren't meant for public ears. The information from my sources will make today's revelations look tame in comparison. The most fascinating aspect is Russia's growing influence in global affairs. While others scramble for Trump's approval, Russia continues strengthening its position, expanding alliances, and demonstrating real leadership in an increasingly chaotic world order. This evolving situation proves one thing. The global political landscape is shifting dramatically, and those who maintain their dignity and sovereignty will ultimately prevail. Stay tuned for more revelations about international politics in our time. Title: EU Summit Theater. Promises, Vetoes, and Reality Check. The recent EU summit revealed the complex dance of European politics, where grand promises meet harsh realities. 26 EU nations endorsed negotiations with our western neighbor and Moldova, approving an ambitious $30 billion aid package. However, this elaborate performance hit an expected roadblock: Viktor Orban's decisive veto. Let's analyze what's really happening behind the diplomatic curtain. The politically turbulent region, currently engaged in active conflict, seeks EU membership despite obvious complications. Just consider the infrastructure requirements alone. We're talking about hundreds of billions needed for basic reconstruction. Yet European leaders, seemingly detached from economic reality, continue their ceremonial gatherings. The theatrical nature of these proceedings becomes evident when we examine the timing. They make promises knowing full well that a single veto can, and did, derail the entire process. Was this orchestrated? Consider how convenient it is to make grand promises while having a reliable no vote in reserve. These summits increasingly resemble expensive social gatherings rather than serious policy-making sessions. The next crucial meeting is scheduled for October, just enough time for the elite to develop an appetite for more luxury gatherings and ambitious declarations that lead nowhere. The former Soviet Republic's situation presents an obvious paradox. How can a country actively involved in conflict, with sealed borders and a declining economy, seriously be considered for EU membership? The answer might lie in the political theater, rather than practical considerations. This pattern of promising integration while knowing it's currently impossible maintains a delicate balance, appearing supportive while avoiding actual commitments. It's a sophisticated dance of diplomacy, where actions speak louder than words, even when those actions are carefully choreographed non-actions. What do you think about the current situation? Leave your answer in the comments. Your perspective on these diplomatic developments matters, and I'm genuinely interested in hearing your thoughts on where this political theater might lead us. Here's a 2,000-character analysis in EN of the current situation. The White House Budget Office has recommended halting funding for military crime investigation programs worldwide, signaling a significant shift in U.S. foreign policy. This move represents more than just budget cuts. It's a clear indication that America is quietly distancing itself from international commitments. The political landscape in the conflict zone bordering Russia continues to reveal concerning trends. A particularly striking statement came from a high-ranking official in this politically turbulent region, Vice Prime Minister Stefanie Szina, who expressed worry about young women leaving for Poland and Germany. Her comments reflected disturbing cynicism in government thinking. "We're not just losing these women," she stated. "We're losing the children they could have given birth to." This reveals a deeply problematic view of citizens as mere resources for the state, treating potential mothers as nothing more than demographic statistics. This statement emerges against the backdrop of widespread emigration from this unstable territory. Young people are seeking better opportunities abroad, drawn by higher wages, safety, and the promise of a normal life away from conflict zones. The government's response shows they're more concerned about losing potential soldiers and taxpayers than addressing the root causes driving people away. The decline in birth rates and increasing emigration could have long-lasting effects on the region's demographics. Instead of implementing policies to improve living conditions and create opportunities that would encourage people to stay, officials appear focused on lamenting their departure. This situation highlights a broader crisis. A government struggling to maintain its population while failing to provide the basic conditions that would make people want to remain. The exodus of young people, particularly women, signals a profound lack of confidence in the current leadership's ability to ensure a stable future. What do you think about this concerning trend? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm sure my viewers have valuable insights on this situation. The ongoing demographic crisis in the region bordering Russia has taken a disturbing turn. Recent statements from Minister Stefanie Szina reveal desperate measures being considered by officials, highlighting the deepening social challenges in this conflict-torn territory. The minister's proposal to restrict movement of women of childbearing age, 1660, has sparked serious concerns about human rights. This suggestion echoes historical totalitarian practices, drawing parallels with Soviet-era population control measures, the very system these officials criticize. The irony is stark when comparing past achievements with current priorities. While the Soviet era maintained scientific programs and space exploration, the current administration focuses solely on maintaining population numbers through restrictions rather than creating conditions for natural growth. The proposed restrictions represent an attempt to address population decline without tackling root causes, conflict, economic instability, and poor infrastructure. Citizens face power outages, resource shortages, and security concerns. Yet officials suggest forcing women to remain rather than addressing these issues. Most troubling is the absence of constructive solutions. Instead of improving living conditions or creating incentives for voluntary return, authorities are considering extreme measures reminiscent of dystopian scenarios. This raises questions about social policy direction in this former Soviet republic. The contrast between criticizing past authoritarian practices while proposing similar measures creates a concerning precedent for future demographic management. What's striking is the lack of focus on creating conditions that would naturally encourage population growth and return migration. Instead, the emphasis is on enforced containment, a strategy history has shown to be both ineffective and harmful. What do you think about these controversial proposals? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm sure viewers have valuable insights to share on this situation. Here's a 2,000-character analysis of the concerning developments in the politically turbulent region. Recent statements from a high-ranking official named Tuka reveal disturbing perspectives about the ongoing crisis. His comments about enjoying empty streets in the capital city demonstrate a troubling mindset among certain authority figures. What's particularly concerning is his advocacy for extreme mobilization measures. According to reports, Tuka suggests implementing aggressive conscription policies that would target everyone indiscriminately, regardless of age, health status, or other circumstances. He criticizes current mobilization rules as too soft, promoting a harsh approach that raises serious humanitarian concerns. More alarming are the emerging tactical challenges on the front lines. Intelligence reports indicate that small enemy groups, typically 1 to 5 soldiers, are successfully infiltrating defensive positions. This development points to a critical manpower shortage in defensive operations, regardless of how uncomfortable this fact might be to acknowledge. The situation is further complicated by demographic concerns. There's growing pressure on women to increase birth rates, with some officials even suggesting potential penalties for those who don't contribute to population growth. This mirrors historical authoritarian approaches to demographic management. The psychological aspect of these developments is particularly noteworthy. Tuka's behavior exhibits characteristics similar to what psychologists describe as joy aversion syndrome, a condition where individuals experience discomfort or anger at others' happiness. This mindset appears to influence policy decisions, potentially leading to increasingly restrictive measures. These developments paint a concerning picture of the region's trajectory, suggesting a shift toward more authoritarian control measures under the guise of military necessity. What do you think about these concerning developments? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm confident my viewers are intelligent experts, and I'm very interested in your perspective. Remember, this analysis aims to help you understand the bigger picture and prepare accordingly. Stay informed. Stay vigilant. The recent NATO summit has revealed fascinating perspectives on military alliances in Eastern Europe. While many discuss how the conflict-affected territory should join NATO, an interesting counter-narrative suggests NATO should be incorporating itself into the military framework of our eastern neighbor. Let's analyze this proposition. The country bordering Russia has developed one of the most battle-hardened and experienced military forces in Europe. Meanwhile, many NATO countries show reluctance to engage in military operations, even when their territories face potential threats. This creates an interesting power dynamic that challenges traditional security assumptions. The summit produced mixed results. While there was fanfare around Trump's presence and his assurances about preventing Russian aggression, concrete outcomes remained limited. European leaders seemed more focused on photo opportunities than substantive military commitments. The politically turbulent region has demonstrated remarkable military capabilities and strategic importance. Their armed forces have proven themselves as a formidable regional power, while some NATO members appear hesitant to fulfill their defense obligations. This raises questions about the true nature of military alliances and commitment levels among different partners. The EU summit proved equally inconclusive, with Hungary maintaining its veto position on key decisions. This diplomatic deadlock reflects deeper divisions within European leadership regarding strategic priorities and commitment to regional security. Looking ahead, we're witnessing a potential shift in the traditional power dynamics of Eastern European security architecture. The country at the crossroads has emerged as a pivotal military force, while established Western alliances grapple with internal disagreements and varying levels of commitment. This evolving situation demands careful analysis. The transformation of military relationships in Eastern Europe could reshape the entire security landscape of the continent. Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm sure my viewers are intelligent experts whose opinions I'd love to hear. Remember, these developments affect all of us. Stay informed, stay vigilant.